surprised by it though.
Okay, cool. I didn't say that.
But that's why I'm not.
I know where I am too. But you've never, in your whole life, you've never seen nothing like that. That is scary. What the fuck is going on?
I'm not saying it's supposed to happen.
And I'm not
what
saying
I'm saying is I'm not surprised by it because look what they do.
And what he's saying is a cavalier attitude like that is dangerous. Is what he's saying. What he's saying is right.
I'm living in the real world though. At the same time,
and respect, but the way that right there is dangerous.
Mona accuses ICE of hypocrisy and orders Joe Budden to terminate ICE.
Her eye and said, "You don't need these. Go solo."
But you said that?
She said it.
However, you stated that. Her words were, "I remember." Indeed. With her tendency to overtalk and constantly shut down others, Mona has made a commotion ever since she joined the Joe Budden Podcast, forcing a reckoning with the structure that existed before her.
Other Italian bag.
I'm about to get mad, yo.
The old Celine vintage bag.
After only 2 episodes, it's already causing problems, and ICE was the first to go. Now, the first instance of conflict between Mona and ICE occurred when they were discussing the political situation involving Charlie Kirk. ICE brought up the topic with his typically indifferent demeanor, stating that people shouldn't really care about things and that he wasn't particularly concerned about the political spectrum. However, Mona would confront him, pointing out the hypocrisy in the way some individuals from different political parties receive accolades. Others, however, do not receive the same recognition or protection. The main reason ICE was spared death was because, in my opinion, Mona can only coerce individuals. However, she firmly felt that ICE's entire strategy for handling the matter wasn't sound in that particular instance. Additionally, I believe ICE could have conveyed the idea that being apathetic is okay. I'm not suggesting that it's acceptable. I'm suggesting that if you have arguments for why your indifference is important, then it's acceptable to be apathetic. For example, if you declare that because I work in back-end development, I don't care about performance, I see opportunities to assist others, and as you are aware, I attend an after-school program where I teach how to create quality content. I discuss ideas to support our communities with politicians. That kind of indifference then helps because you think, oh, I don't care about this, but there are real, practical methods to improve things. I don't want to be a podcaster who merely discusses topics without actually doing anything. Perhaps he can fight it that way. All he needs to do is be able to communicate his idea in a meaningful way. If not, he just seems to represent nothing. On the other hand, I freely acknowledge that he represents nothing. When it was revealed that Mona instructed Joe Budden to fire Ish and ICE during her first guest appearance on the podcast, additional problems surfaced. Now that might sound like a joke, but I genuinely think Mona thinks so. It's funny, in my opinion, how whenever a cast member appears on the Joe Budden podcast, it almost seems as though they are speaking for Joe Budden. Imani was urging everyone, yo, you guys need to give it up. Why don't you guys give it up? Oh man, Flip, when he arrived, recalling it's, people are afraid to say things and Joe doesn't want to say it.
And making butter it up. You not the realest in the room. Stop doing that. Like, you the go-to, everybody else up here fronting except you.
I believe Joe Budden addresses everyone before the show starts. He'll say, yeah, I'm not sure. It's not like Isaiah Nice is giving up. When they arrived, they were completely different. I think that Mona genuinely thinks that ICE needs to get off that couch since Joe Budden has done the same to her. I believe she believes Flip is valuable. She thinks Imani is valuable. You clearly see value in Parks because Parks has spent 10 years there. He performs all of the jazz and the sound. However, she appears to be attempting to coach Ish and ICE when she glances at them. Have you ever seen the pod during Ish and ICE's occasional conversations? Recall that ICE noticed something strange going on off to the side.
Come on, let's keep moving. Keep it moving, guys. Keep it moving. Why are we gonna all stop? Keep it moving.
Mona looked. Yo, we need to talk, they say. You cannot simply stop talking about things because something is taking a back seat. Let's continue the podcast. She doesn't think those people exist. That's what I am telling you now. She frequently mistakes ICE and Ish by name, which is another reason I think she doesn't believe in these people. She gives ICE-ish a call. ICE, she says. Additionally, I've had a theory my entire life. The greatest insult is not knowing someone's name. It's more disrespectful, in my opinion, than someone asking you to the Frank stand. Now, the reason I say that is because if someone deliberately chooses not to know your name, it indicates that they don't think highly enough of you to recall your identity. And let's examine our own lives. We feel more powerful when we go somewhere and someone recognizes us. However, when someone forgets our name, they say, "Yo, you don't really know my name?" Furthermore, I'm not exactly a nobody. I subscribe to Joe Budden's podcast. You couldn't take the time to discover who I am then? I mean, I don't look like Ice. Ice is most likely thinking the same thing. I don't look like anything. Who do you think you are then, that you are unaware of my name? That seems a little Hollywood to me. And since Mona recently joined the company, it might indicate where she perceives herself in the hierarchy. She has already begun discussing the luggage she will be receiving. Joe dropped a suitcase, she remarked. She must also be familiar with Park's name. She is aware of Joe Budden's name. She is aware of Imani's name. She already has you, or all of us, aware of it. I see Joe at the top, all fine. At the top, I see Ian. At the top, I see Imani. Flip brings enthusiasm to the table, so I see him kind of up there. But the rest of y'all ain't nothing. And that's exactly how I perceive it. I'm talking about it that way. Just take a look at the people she likes on the show. It will continue to play out throughout the remainder of the program, I assure you. It will continue for the remainder of the show. Additionally, Flip will encounter issues with Mona. Ice knows that. Flip will be even more disheartened. Flip has already started to go over it. Flip has already mentioned that he believes other cast members' opinions are valued, and he's referring to Mona. He is discussing Mark, Ish, and all these other people that people are interested in hearing from. We'll have to wait and see how things work out with Ice, though, since Flip and others have pointed out that Ice has a history of being sensitive.
She did, Freeze. She love you so much, she'll meet you at the spot, nigga. She'll wait.
Alone, bro.
Freeze, you got it on lock.
On their phone, I'm sure until we start.
You don't play. It's the first time I seen you like that.
Freeze, we started.
Nigga got the red hat on. Come on, man.
There have been times when Flip was merely attempting to have some fun with him and making light of him, and Flip would say things like, "Man, Ice, you always shut down." Ish then confronted him, pointing out how erratic Ice can be. If you break up with him, he will remain silent for extended periods of time.
That's how you got away, Bradley.
It's called being a team player, man. You hard sometimes. You look up.
Damn, Freeze.
I don't.
Damn, Freeze.
What will he do with Mona then? In the process of bigging up Joe, Mona will break the ice. You got all the bad guys. While she was talking about Joe in the first episode, I could discuss eating butt with you as well as all the other sexual topics. You're ignorant of Ice and Ish. You have no idea how they give it up. They can have a butt-crazy up style. Why are you making assumptions about them then? Have you taken the time to get to know them? Are you not making the effort to get to know them because you have already determined their worth and don't think it is necessary to speak with them? You think you're superior to them. What contribution do Ish and Ice make to the podcast as well? You all recall that it was frequently positioned as though, oh, Ish and Ice saved the pod when they initially arrived. When they arrived, they stabilized the broadcast, even though many viewers were about to stop watching the pod. They were only together for a few years when Joe felt compelled to bring in Flip, Melissa Ford, and Mona. If Joe thought he needed to change the entire flow, what is that value actually worth? And recall how they said, oh, we just want to give you some days off when Flip, Melissa, the rest of them, and Mark initially arrived. Additionally, it doesn't appear like they take a lot of vacation days. With a cast so large, it doesn't seem like they receive the time they need to feel rejuvenated, even though I know they occasionally take days off. It's like a sweatshop over there, according to several of the people I interviewed.
I know, you know how much Joe records. I don't think people understand.
Mm-hmm.
He's really, I mean, I don't want to say this because you know, Ish is my dude. Ice is good with V, so is Imani. You know, Flip, whenever I see him, it's all love. He's really running a high-end sweat.
When I sat down to interview Haney, he said that. It appears that Joe Budden is overworking his co-hosts according to the industry. Additionally, I'm aware that many viewers or commenters say, podcasting isn't real work. Man, it is. Although I'm aware that many people do not, it is. It's not as difficult as, say, operating large machinery or building automobiles, but it is challenging to carry out the creative process in a way that is interesting to others. Yes, we may argue that we could build a pod, but would the finished pod be interesting? There is a balance, and occasionally being creative may put a lot of strain on the brain, particularly if it's not something you enjoy doing or something you were brought up doing. Let's see where Mona versus Ice goes, though. The Newark boys' plans are taking a serious turn when Bona enters the picture. Recall that they stated they didn't really want a pod when they first arrived. They claimed not to be particularly fond of podding. Now, however, after around 4 years, they appeared to enjoy the check truly. They are now in a situation where they are at the mercy of Joe Budden's judgments, and they will need to resolve any problems they may be having because of the way Ish talks about having numerous enterprises, yet never leaving the program. At least Ice is being truthful when he says that he enjoys working on the show. It's light. We'll have to watch how this develops. Okay, everyone, please share your thoughts about Ice vs. Sand in the comments section.